What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Chris, as always with me, Leo. Today, we are diving into Handmaid Sale Season 4, Episode 3. Man, I'm enjoying Season 4. But if you're tuning in for the first time, welcome. William and I don't pretend to be experts. We just really love entertainment, and we love talking about it. So the best way to think about this show is if you just watched one of your favorite shows, one you really enjoyed, and you want to go talk to your friends about it and get more details and see how they felt, that's what we're doing. We really enjoy it. It seems like many of you do because we're well on our way to 50,000 subscribers. So if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and do so and join us on that journey. The way this works, though, is if you enjoy this video, hit the like button. If you want to join the conversation, tell if we're wrong, tell if we're right, share your own opinion without spoilers, you do that down in the comments below. So other than that, we're going to talk about it. So let's talk about it.
Yeah. What did you think of this episode, from June being captured, Nick making you second guess whether he's still on her side or not?
I never think Nick's on her side. Nick's on Nick's side.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we have Lawrence coming back in.
I'm happy that Lawrence came back in. He is one of my favorite characters. And I think that he plays a very crucial role in June being able to operate as a vigilante. Not a vigilante, but as a rebel. Without him in the picture, she doesn't get to do all the cool things she's doing, right? It'd be much harder for her to do those things. This was a roller coaster episode again. There were highlights, there were downsides, and then there was the cliffhanger, like not really cliffhanger, but emotional end to this episode.
The ending of this episode is what I was talking about last time. I can't wait till we get to that point, because once they're on the run, things become fun.
Well, they've been on the run, and they get captured, and then they go on the run again.
Was this particular time I'm referencing?
Okay. So the whole, like the lieutenant guy who tortures people, I thought he was a wasted character. He's so unimaginative. Like, let's think about the top 3 ways we've ever tortured a person in the past that the world knows about, and let's use those. Like, there could have been so much more imagination there.
Have I told you about the time I was waterboarded?
No?
No.
Like actually waterboarded, or like your friends did it to you?
Friends did.
Okay.
Because
Doesn't count.
Because we're like, it can't be that bad.
I've also messed around with the idea of it, but I've never actually been tortured, so yes.
Yeah, would not recommend.
No, it's all fucking this people. Yes. Yeah. Like we're dumb. We're dumb guys. We've done a lot of stupid stuff. I'll say that. But no, I've never like actually been in a situation where I thought my life was in danger.
It looks ridiculous in the act itself. How can something so stupid or simple cause so much distress? It does.
So yeah, the waterboarding, nail pulling, like these things are, the bamboo shoots under the nails, pulling someone's nails. Like these are obviously sensitive pressure points that we've used in history for torture. I just thought he was a very unimaginative character. You have all this sinister evil going on in Gilead, and that's the best they came up with for their like torture guide
Over Jolly?
I mean, for a commander, he's a lieutenant, so he's technically not even a commander.
Fucking psychotic.
For him to enjoy what he does is on par for Gilead. That part didn't creep me out. Like, that made sense to me. Mm-hmm. I was just like, I felt, again, like the best way I could say is like they wasted that character.
Okay.
But, I'm one person with one opinion.
I feel like he did a good job for the role he had to play, because we'll probably never see him again.
Yeah, and rightfully so. He serves one purpose. He's the interrogator.
But did you notice her drastic weight loss this time, Aunt Lydia?
Yeah, I can. Now that you've mentioned it and I've seen it again, I do notice that she's significantly thinner. I'm just kind of curious if she got sick during COVID, or if that maybe affected her, or if she just maybe Ozempic or whatever. Like, there was that whole...
I don't think Ozempic was a thing then.
I was going to say, I know it was a big fad right around the same time COVID was going on.
Was it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
I thought it was after that quite a bit.
I don't know. People are still killing themselves with it, so it's whatever. But
all right. So when she's being interrogated, she gives false information real quick to send them on wild goose chase. Assert a little defiance, or I don't know how you want to put it, but she sends them on the wild goose chase, knowing she's gonna get like the full heat of it once they realize it's not true. But Aunt Lydia is losing control in the situation. June's like, yeah, I got the Janine kind of thing. I thought that was a fun thing. I've completely forgot about that angle where she throws the whole Janine thing in Aunt Lydia's face. Yeah. She uses Aunt Lydia's technique against her, putting all the fault on her.
I think Aunt Lydia did not take into account what a person is willing to do and say when they are pushed to that extreme. When she walks in on June and talks to her during that scene, she had just been waterboarded for God knows how long. She's still soaking wet. And so at that point, I think in June's mind, she's coming from a place of like, what else are you gonna fucking do to me besides kill me? So why wouldn't she just unleash the most verbal, like, vicious tongue lashing she can? And we've seen time and time again that, like, June's a very, like, smart person. She understands what makes people tick, especially when it came to Fred and Serena. So she was able to manipulate that situation.
Either consciously or unconsciously. I'm not sure still.
For her to be able to weaponize it when she does, I think it's conscious. To not use it and then use it is a conscious effort, I would believe.
Otherwise, she wouldn't be using it, talking about having that skill. I don't know if it's conscious effort to train that skill or if it was just something that she's always been good at reading people, but now she's using it to further opportunity.
I think it could be both. I think she could innately be good with people at reading them. And then the traumatic situation that she's forced into through Gilead forced her to hone that, to be able to use that to her advantage. And that's what we see her doing now, not multiple years later, is actually through the freaking forging of iron, she now knows how to use this ability pretty well when necessary.
One of my favorite scenes in this episode, aside from the very end when they're making a run for it, very heartbreaking, was when the other handmaids were about to be captured. They're all cowering against the wall below the window, and then the one stands up, and then Janine gains courage to stand up again, and then the rest of them stand up, and the way that they stand up in defiance like that just gives me chills.
Yeah. Was it defiance or was it courage?
I feel like it's both.
Because in that moment, they know they're fucked. They know it, but they chose to stand there courageously in the face of that fear of what was about to happen to them and show that they were not afraid.
To me, that is defiance. Okay. Defiance of the fear. Defiance of the authority of Gilead. Okay. I don't know. Yeah. The other scene was when the Martha, the one that Nick was screwing, when she's up on the ledge. How she's, again, in that moment is just like, you know what? Fuck them, don't tell them a damn thing.
My first thought when I noticed who was on that ledge was they knew what they were getting into.
Yep.
They signed their name on that line when they joined the rebellion, when they decided to do this. They knew exactly what they were getting into. And then when she opened her mouth and said that, I said, yep, that's exactly where my mind would be.
It's not really a fucking choice, though.
We're all dead. Why would we give them anything? We're all dead anyway.
Yeah.
Kill me. Yeah.
But there's no choice. What I mean it to say is for joining the rebellion. There's no real choice there. It's either you stay a slave or you...
I disagree. There's always choice, even if it's a bad one. But there's always a choice. You can choose to live on your knees or you can choose to die on your feet. And they're choosing to die on their feet.
It's not really your choice.
There's always choice, brother. Always. Even in the worst situation.
I get that. But when I said it's not a choice, I mean that that's the only clear option to have a chance.
Listen, the other choice may be death. Right? The other choice may not be a good choice. The other choice may put you in harm, may put you in, may get you mutilated in this world. But there's always a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's go to the van scene when they're being... Oh, hold on. Before we get to that, June is pleading with Aunt Lydia to just kill her, let her die. And she's like, oh, no, dear. and then we get introduced to the Magdalene community.
Like a breeding colony. Yeah.
I was just trying to think of the actual name. And I'm sure that has to do with, like, the whole Jesus thing and stuff like that, too, right?
I don't get Malacheli. I don't get the connection with the last name. That makes sense. Yep.
That's how I got there, was Mary Magdalene. And the only reason I even knew that name for quite some time is because of Da Vinci Code.
I was raised Catholic. I went through confirmation, left as soon as I could, to be honest. just wasn't my cup of tea. But I should know that. It slipped my mind. So I was like, I don't get the connection. But now I do.
But she's being told that she's not dying, that she's going to go to this new breeding colony where they're going to slave away. And when they're ready, most fertile, then...
Yeah, it sounds like a mixture between the work colony and being a handmaid. So you're not only are you going to work 24/7 when you're menstruating, when it's your time of the month, when you're ready to have a baby, when you're most fertile, however she works, Miss Lydia words they were, but however, when they're most fertile and ready to give their gift, that they will come there and rape them. Like that's... Is this a new thing, this colony, or do they already exist? Like Aunt Lydia, like, because she said, I don't really agree with this new form of like an initiative or a new initiative or whatever. So it seems to me like they're building this because of you. Okay.
Maybe. I don't know.
I wasn't sure because I'm like, oh, are they building this as like a punishment to June?
Pretty sure it's the first reference we have of it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm mistaken. Let me know.
Yeah. I thought maybe June and the other handmaids running and doing what they did with the kids and like this whole big ordeal that we've been dealing with now is the reason why they're doing it.
Could very well be. But when they're in the back of the van, the only guard there with Aunt Lydia is like, I gotta take a piss kind of thing, right? She's like, nature calls. But as soon as he steps out, June's looking around, all the girls are looking around. And as soon as Aunt Lydia clocks that June's looking at the shock stick, the taser, cattle prod, whatever you want to call it, I don't even know it's probably a cattle prod, right? All right. As soon as she looks and she clocks that, Aunt Lydia's like, oh, fuck. She knows what's coming. And they make a break for it.
Star Trek may have ruined scenes like this for me for the rest of my life. Because whenever you introduce me to a group of people that I normally would know, but there were 3 or 4 of them that I don't know, and they're just randomly there for the first time, I know there's about to be a death scene, and those people are about to die.
I knew you were going red shirts.
They were red shirts, for sure.
They're all red shirts. They're all wearing red.
There were 3 handmaids in that van who we had never seen before until that scene. Well, until the scene when they all stand together. They were there for that scene. They weren't there in the scenes with Esther, all of them. They didn't exist before this.
I don't know. They might have. And
they didn't show us them then. They weren't important until the death. Because they are very clearly showing us them in this episode. And when I see people for the first time in a situation like they're in, I immediately go, okay, how many of them are going to die? Now, I was not expecting the train. That took me by surprise. I was not expecting to watch, even though it was really bad CGI, watch Alma and I believe her name's Brianna get hit by that train. That was crazy.
So it looked like there was 4 of them that was supposed to get hit by the train?
It looked like 2 got hit. The other 2 got shot. 4 people. 4 died total. 2 got away.
Because there was like 3 or 4 people, I swear, running to cross the tracks after June and Janine.
Yeah.
They showed the 2 get hit, but the other ones, there was no bodies when they were over top. So I don't know.
Yeah, it was like that one. I will not give any credit to the CGI department for that scene. It was bad, but it looked to me like Alma was reaching out, was right behind her, and then the train just whacks by, and then they're gone. No sign of anything else. Not even a blood spear. No miss, no nothing. And then we go to the top view. You see that the other guarding has shot one, which we saw her go down, shot missed, and a shot again actually hit somebody. So there's 2 handmaids dead, 2 presumably hit by the train, and then Janine and June who get out.
Well, maybe we can write it off to the fact that we figured out from some of the viewers that this whole season was shot during lockdown, right?
Yeah.
So maybe we chalk it up to that, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, I think that they are doing a great job, even though they had some restraints and some obstacles to go around with this season. And maybe why there's only 1 guard in the car, right? They couldn't have 2 guys sitting up front together or something stupid like that. Although they have all the handmaids in the back together, so it doesn't make any sense. All right. Just trying to think of like why they would only have 1 guard in the car.
Maybe that's where CGI went. All of them in the back of the van together.
Yeah. That was the one thing if the CGI is so bad that it actually takes me out of the scene, then that's not good. And that's how I felt about the train, especially when they go to the aerial view and it's like pristine land and then this fuzzy train moving through the center of it. And I'm like, way to ruin a super dramatic scene.
So for me, watching sci-fi TV, growing up sci-fi movies, like the real bad B-rated movies, I'm okay with it.
I'm not. It was okay for sci-fi to be B-rated when we didn't have the technology. Sci-fi today, Star Wars and stuff today, like that's where CGI is. Like the video, like if you could just imagine for a second, just a 5-minute in-game video, like inside of a video game, just an in-game movie, a little 5-minute one. The CGI that goes into that and how realistic that looks. They could do it for a video game. They could do it for a high production show. You know, HBO. If you could bring a dragon to life, you could make a train look real. Okay, damn it.
True. So the very end scene after the dramatic escape of that stuff. Oh, shit, before we get to that.
Canada. Yeah, we forget Canada. We like stay with June and we forget to go up to Canada and talk about that.
And the whole Nick thing too.
Because Luke's scenes in this episode probably stole the show for me. It was the most real I've seen someone portray the situation he was going in. I know Luke's not really a father. I know Luke's not really dealing with June stuff and really, like the actor personally not dealing with that. But I would 100% believe that he is Luke dealing with that in that moment.
Yeah.
Well done.
He's talking out his thoughts of working through his emotions in real time out loud for the audience to see while he's talking to Moira.
And he voiced a lot of the same concerns that like I've been voicing. Why did she choose to stay behind? Where's the logic there? And he's saying it too. It's like, why would she not choose us? Like, what is she doing? And even Moira's kind of like trying to defend her, but has nothing really to stand on. And then the last line she says even pissed me off. Well, at least God's looking out for her. Like, well, really? Really, dude? You think that's what God wants her to go through? Like, come on, man. So, and then he just walks away at that point too, because he doesn't want to continue that conversation, which is exactly where I would have went to. Like, really? That's what you want to say to me right now?
I feel like he was just losing it and he didn't want to break down in front of her, and that's why he left.
I also think that her trying to justify that like God's looking out for her was hard for him to swallow.
I feel like he gave her grace around that because she has been indoctrinated into that world. Because you remember the flashback where she's joking about God and all this stuff when they're at church for the baptism? Yeah. So they're at church for that, and she has nothing religious in her at all.
I still don't think she does.
No?
No. I think that what you're seeing may be a residual of the indoctrination. I do believe that you're completely 100% right that Luke gives her a lot of leeway, not only because of the bond beforehand, but because he understands what she's been through. Maybe not on a personal level, but intellectually, he understands that she's been through hell. So yeah, he gives her grace. But at the same time, I wouldn't say that Moira has adopted any religious tendencies or holds them post-Gilead. I think she just uses that because that's kind of what she thinks will soothe him. And it doesn't.
But wasn't he not really religious either?
I believe that June was the only one of everyone that was at that baptism who really wanted to be there.
Yeah, that was my understanding also.
However, we do see June and Luke go to church in flashbacks. He may be going there because of her, but he is participating in worship with her.
Okay. And then we also have the whole Nick and June thing again.
Yeah. Nick, I don't think Nick's ever on anybody's team besides Nick's team, right? Like, Nick's a very selfish character, which is why now that I have more context into his backstory other than season 6, I'm not really as big of a fan of him as I was in season 6.
Well, he even goes so long as to plead for his help.
Yeah. I think that he cares about June. And he doesn't want to see June die. He mentions that in this episode. I think he's just sincere with that. I'm interested more in that conversation because of the favor. What did Nick do for Lawrence that now Lawrence owes Nick? Because he mentioned twice, you owe me. But what is it that Nick did to help out Lawrence that now Lawrence owes Nick?
I don't know whether we know this information or not yet.
Yeah, because that would be good information to know. Like, what was Lawrence caught up in or need help with that Nick was able to solve for him, but now he owes him?
Probably a previous handmaid.
My thoughts is it has something to do with June.
So it's not really a favor for Lawrence.
But again, Nick is selfish, so he could use that in his favor. But no, Nick to me in this series is a convenient character, not a good one. And what I mean by that is he shows up and has enough power to get June in a situation when she needs it. It's convenient for us as the viewer to keep the plot moving. But other than that, there's so much we don't know about how he operates and what he actually does to make him like a valuable character to me right now. To me, it seems like the only reason he stays in the story is so the writers can use him as a scapegoat for June.
Oh, together to
Fight her out stuff, yeah.
Okay.
Like, hey, please explain to me any other purpose of Nick right now than that.
Like sci-fi movies. I don't know how we're gonna get at this one. We'll just make up some new technology.
Yeah. We invented this new technology. Let's just do the exact thing we need to do.
Conveniently before the last episode.
Yeah.
But the touching scene at the very end, where all the girls are showing the
Flashback.
the non-verbal communication, that stuff, the touching, the mouth reading, I thought that was all valuable, but I hated the fact that they threw it in at the very end. It should have just left us on the cliffhanger. The reason I say that is we already understand that they developed this stuff. You didn't need to remind us that's how they got out of the van.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you. Like, being force-fed something that we already know as the viewer is never fun. And it took away, like, in my opinion, each episode could have had a lot more punch dramatically if the train would have been real and they would have ended it with Janine and June running off. Mm-hmm. Like, you would have had me. It was such an emotional scene. But those little things that you do as a writer that you think you're adding to the scene sometimes that kind of pull us out. Mm-hmm. Well, it didn't work this time for me. And I mean, and every you as well. Yeah. So what did you think of that? I'm very interested to see where it goes still. But this to me was the one, like, you took away a bunch of good characters, right? Alma, you took away a bunch of her allies, I would say, not just good characters, but a bunch of June's allies. I got a little bit of confirmation that maybe Esther's the reason they got June. I was right. The handmaids were in hiding. They weren't captured. So there were some things that, like, I got conclusion or confirmation on this episode. There's still a lot of open-ended questions. Still need to see what ended up happening with Fred and Serena and Serena's new baby. I know ultimately Fred does get killed. So when that happens, we don't know.
Waiting for that.
Just waiting for that to eventually happen. I don't know. See, but season 4 is going in such a different direction now because of where we are.
And I'm sure that's a relief for you.
Yeah, I'm just interested to see where it goes. I think that maybe I'm going to give some credit to the fact that the COVID was going on during this time, but there are parts of the writing of, like, because the actors do such a great job, and I believe them. Like, even the lieutenant, who was the creepy torture guy, even the interrogator, like, his acting was on point. Like, I believe that he was creepy. I just think it's the way they're written doesn't sell it for me. Like, if you're going to put me in a really evil, corrupt, sinister world, where even Lawrence admits in this episode, it is the Wizard of Oz. Like, it is, do as I say, not as I do kind of situation where everything is just what do you call it? The window dressing. It's all just window dressing. We're showing this from this is what we show you on the outside, right? But on the inside, it's just a means to an end. And he admits that in this episode, which I think is powerful. Yeah.
There will be no episode on Thursday, right?
Yes, we will not be dropping an episode on Thursday. We will be on our way to our Mexico Mastermind. We will not be back until Monday. So no episode this Thursday. We'll be dropping the following episode on Tuesday. Just to give everybody a heads up. Yeah. No, I mean, this was June being captured and June getting back out, right? That's what this episode is. We got to see Aunt Lydia a bit, Lawrence and Nick a bit. And we had some pretty tragic deaths, right? We lost some of the handmaids that we'd come to know and love over the last 4 seasons. Mm-hmm. Alma was a huge part in June finding Mayday and becoming so strong and part of all of that. That was Alma.
You remember when someone in the comment section said, wait until later for her, you'll like her. I think the last few episodes of this season are exactly what she was talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, so let us know. What do you think of this episode down below? Can't wait to continue this episode with you guys next week, or next episode with you guys next week. This one was a roller coaster, but definitely set us up for something new and something interesting. We're back on the run, so we'll see. Let us know what you think down below. Appreciate you joining us. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed already, go ahead and do so. And there are videos for you to join us with. So we'll see you out there. Peace.
Find the strength hiding in each battle scar. You're not who you were, you've already come far.